I think first and foremost, there was a big difference from week 1 to week 2. I think week 2, I think the key thing for me is sometimes as a coach you can't hide behind statistics, and when you look at the statistics of the Irish game breakdown wise, actually if you'd not been at the game and read them you'd have thought, good day. But it wasn't dominant. It wasn't dominant and it wasn't accurate and it wasn't up to the standard that we've put forward. So a lot of work done last week, as you boys all saw. Copper stamp, I think, is the correct name for it. I call it an all-in. And I just think we just had to get out the system and get back to what we've been doing so well, really, over the last couple of years. We've worked really hard, collectively and individually in that area, and I thought we got it right on Saturday and got back to where we were. Intensity was right, accuracy was right. Sometimes it's just in the top 2 inches. Well, there was a lot talked about last week. And the players. The good thing is we've got an honest group, Craig. There's no hiding behind any excuses. You got to put your hands up, coaches and players. And on reading what the players said last week regarding didn't they pitch up and wasn't a good day at the office and things like that. There's only one group can sort it out, and that's ourselves. Shut the doors and get on with the job. And I just thought we were back to where we were last Saturday, and we've made huge improvements in this area. I was proud of the boys' performance, and it was one to kind of put a marker back down again. As of Italy, to answer your second part of your question, I know the Italian players pretty well. I've watched a lot, obviously, the Guinness rugby, the Trevisos and the likes. Difficult teams to play against. They are very difficult. I find them a real they're intense at the breakdown. You're going to get real competition there. They've got some world-class players. I think Italy over the years have really developed as a nation. I think Jacques Brunel's doing a great job with them. It's going to be a real intense battle on Saturday, as every test match is, and breakdowns to breakdown to breakdown, attack and defence. It's full on every week. Yeah.
And considering the progress the guys have made since you've been involved now the last year and a half, 2 years or so, it's a bit disappointing to see that step backwards against Ireland, especially coming off the rugby championship and the way the guys getting it off against Australia and New Zealand. Are you concerned about based of the consistency?
Nah, not really, because if you look at it right across the whole last year and a half, 2 years, we've actually become more and more consistent. There's a number of things that I think, again, I go back to what I said to Craig. I think when we all put our hands up and maybe just say that it just wasn't a good enough and acceptable performance for us, and I think that was talked about fair enough last week, and sometimes you got to draw a line under it, and I'd rather it happen there than Brighton, Newcastle, Birmingham or London. So I think in some ways I'll always take positives out of everything, but we just have to make sure that we're dominant. That's a key thing for us, and I think a lot of it does sometimes come down to the mindset. Your ship in order. So that's the way I would go about doing that.
Just from a player's perspective, how different has the breakdown battle been in the Northern Hemisphere as opposed to your experience in the Southern Hemisphere?
The breakdown has been it's much different. The conditions are obviously a bit wetter. So you have to focus a bit more. Understand? The game is much quicker. The players focus more on rucks. Unlike the Southern Hemisphere teams where we play quicker, they focus much more on rucks. Understand? So if you're not quick enough, then they will spoil your ball, or you understand. So it is very different from ours, yeah.
And the intensity, Oupa, in the Northern Hemisphere, apart from the breakdown, just in terms of the physicality, it seems to be a bit more physical game up north compared to rugby championship.
Yes, it is more physical. I think it's because, like I said, it is a bit wet, so the forwards will play much closer and they'll play much tighter, understand? So it is a very physical tournament, say, compared to the other Southern Hemisphere teams. You'd rather run the ball, we enjoy running with the ball, but up here it is is a bit tough. So yeah.
But for the guys like Victor and John have been here a million times, but for someone like yourself and a few of the other young guys in the camp, how important is this with an eye to trying to make that World Cup squad next year for you, this experience of playing up there?
You know, it obviously is very important. You play like it's your last game because you actually don't know when your last game might be, you understand? But the main focus is not to focus too much on the World Cup right now, and it's to focus on the coming games. I think if you do your part in these coming games, then the coach will make his decision come the time of World Cup. So I think we should take it a game at a time, and then we'll see what happens in the future.